Hi, Maths Essential Skills Exercise 14. We are looking at solving trigonometric equations. Now guys, if you haven't watched the video that I put in the playlist, go back and watch it. Because the teacher that goes over it goes into why we use the CAST diagram in the way that we do. He links it to the trigonometric graphs. It's a really good video. It's well explained. Okay, so don't want you just leaving that out and not having a look at it to see how it all comes together. Because in class, your teacher will have went over that with you. The chances are you forget it because the majority of pupils just kind of want the process at the time. But once you've learned it, then you can go back and you can understand it a bit better sometimes. So please go back and watch that video if you haven't watched it properly. Okay, so all of these solutions will be based on the fact that you have watched that video. Right, so I'm trying to solve cos x equals 0.940 in between 0 and 360. So I'm going to take the inverse cosine of 0.940, which is 20 degrees, the nearest whole number. So you notice I'm not writing x equals yet. Okay. And I'm doing a cosine question, so then I'd draw my CAST diagram out after I've done this part. And it's a cosine question. I have a positive value, so I'm taking the A and the C quadrant. Remember, A stands for all of, and that's all of sin, cos, and tan. C stands for cos. So it's a positive value, so I'm looking in the first and the fourth quadrants. Okay, now you should be writing these numbers on. Okay, because this will calculate the extra angle for you. So my values of x are the value in this quadrant, which is just the 20 degrees, and also 360 minus 20, which is 340. Right, 2c, essentially the same as the one I've just done in 1d, except there's a little bit of rearranging to do. So here, add 6 cos x to both sides of the equation, then divide through by 6. So we end up with cos x equals 5/6. Again, find the inverse cosine of 5/6, which is 33.6 degrees. Now again, guys, I'm not writing x equals on this line. It shouldn't be there yet. Now back, do I have positive or negative value of cosine? I have a positive value of cosine, so I'm ticking the A and the C quadrant. So my values of x will be the 33.6 degrees given here, and also 360 minus 33.6, which is 326.4 degrees. Alright, question 3a. Sine x equals negative 0.500. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ignore that negative sign, because my CAST diagram will take care of that in a few seconds. So I find the inverse sine of 0.5, which is 30 degrees. Again, notice I'm not saying x equals, because x does not equal 30 degrees in this question. Okay, looking at the answers there. So because I have a negative value of sine, I'm not ticking A and S, which I would tick if it was a positive value. I'm ticking the other two quadrants. Okay, so my value will be 180 plus this angle, so 180 plus 30 is 210, and 360 minus this angle of 30 degrees, which is 330 degrees. So what we've essentially done there, and again in the video that I've suggested you watch before this one, it goes into this in quite a bit of depth. I'm essentially finding out when the sine graph is at a height of minus 1/2. And as we can see, that's going to happen between 180 and 360. It's actually going to happen between 180 and 270, then between 270 and 360, which is what this CAST diagram does for us. (3g), tan x equals -4. So I'm going to find the inverse tan of 4, which is 76 degrees. Again, I'm ignoring this negative sign, guys, because the CAST diagram takes care of that for us. Okay? The CAST diagram takes care of that for us. And then, so I'm doing a tan question. If it was a positive value, I'd be picking A and T, but they're not, so I'm going to pick S and C. So the values for x will be 180 minus 76, 360 minus 76, which is 104 and 284 degrees. question 4e. So in this one, just a little bit of rearranging to do. So I'm going to subtract 0.3 from both sides, which will give me this. I'm then going to divide through by 0.4. Okay, I can simplify this here if I really want to, but because I'm halfway through the question, I don't need to. If it was my final answer, I'd definitely be simplifying it. Right, so I have a negative value for sine. So again, we ignore that negative sign when calculating this part. So the inverse sine of 0.3 divided by 0.4, which is 48.6 degrees. I'm doing a sine question. It's a negative value of sine. So I'm not ticking A or S, I'm ticking the other two quadrants. Again, there's no mention of x equals on this line. So my values of x will be 180 plus 48.6 and 360 minus 48.6, coming from the CAST diagram here. And 5q, so the only real difference in 5q is a little bit more algebra at the start to do, but we're just balancing an equation. So we'll have a cos x on both sides here. We've got 7 cos x on the left hand side, cos x on the right hand side. So I'm going to subtract cos x from both sides. So if we like, we could have written that. Again, we're keeping it balanced there. If we subtract from one side, we must subtract from the other side with equal sign. So we'll be left with 6 cos x minus 1 equals 4. Add 1 to both sides. So 6 cos x equals 5. Divide through by 6. So cos x will be 5/6. And then we're on the CAST diagram again. We're using a positive value. We have a positive value of cosine. Okay, this is positive. There's no minus or negative sign there. So inverse cosine of 5/6, and then the value we've got, and also 360 minus that value.